it's happening now. It's manifesting, it's creating itself, but I've got to allow a certain version of me to let go of that old version of me to step into this new version that I'm going on a path to kind of move towards. I can't fully see that version of me. I know it's there, but it's like what's happening now. It's got to go. I've got to move to an unrecognizable version to welcome in all these great things that I know are coming.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Academy Podcast with the #1 international best-selling author and multi-award winning success and life coach, Kamil Shah. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking this opportunity to grow together with me, Kamil Shah, and my guests on this program. Each episode of the Academy Podcast is filled with insights and wisdom from my guests, which I believe can have a profound impact on the way we live our lives. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Academy Podcast with me, Kamil Shah. Wherever you are tuning in to today's session, as always, my wish is that you are in a state of peace. Today will be another exciting episode as I have with me a fellow co-author of the international bestseller, Authentic, Courageous Humans Who Change Their Lives by Rewriting Their Story. Joining me today is Graham Wheatcroft. Graham, who is a fitness and resilience coach, faced anxiety issues that led him to feel in a dark place and a very low point in his life. He was determined to break free from this downward spiral. He began daily deep work in physical, mental, and spiritual meditation, which have now become habits and commitments that he teaches his clients to help them build their own fitness and resilience and practices themselves using simple tools such as dumbbells and breathwork. Graham now delivers his time effectively coaching globally, is an executive contributor to Brainz Magazine, has been published digitally for Networking Magazine, the Medic Alert Foundation, and he has his own podcast, the Resilient Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome, Graham.
Hey, well, thank you for that amazing introduction. Yeah, wow, it's amazing what you can cover in such a short space of time there. And I've got to say, my main starting point for myself that's brought me to where I am today was that dark place, was that place of anxiety. And strangely enough, that's ended up being a gift in life, really, when I reflect back on it now, because it's often when you're in that pit, when you're in that dark place and you think there's nothing more that you can do, that when you gradually find your ways to dig out of that pit and step into the light, so to put it, that's when the real changes start to happen. And when you can take those tools and strategies that you may be using to then begin helping other people, it's so rewarding. And that was absolutely great introduction, and so much I could talk about just from that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for saying yes and jumping onto this episode. For people tuning in, again, Graham and I got connected through the book because we both co-authored the book, and we have our separate chapters in there. But what was interesting about you, Graham, was when I read your chapter, it's special in the sense that, as you explained there, from your own personal experience of being vulnerable and sharing your story about how you went into that state of going into the dark space of your life, and how you managed to come out of that, and something that you mentioned there about not relying on medication, which is why I think is really interesting, because that's something that hopefully you can share with people tuning in, of how you overcome that situation using the tools that you've managed yourself.
Well, I'd got to the point where my anxiety was driving me down deep. I was having suicidal thoughts,
Wow.
and I'll never forget my mother saying, "Right, we're going to the doctor." And long story short, I'd wrote down some of my feelings at the time, and the doctor's like, "Right, this medication, this is what you need to take, and it'll begin to change things." And something clicked in my brain. It's like something went, "No, well, you don't need to rely on medication to make you better. You've got your dragon lifts that you do, that really focus your mind and body. You've got your meditation that you do. Start with those things. Start going walking." And that was like the turning point for me. I thought, I'm not going to rely on some little pink tablets or whatever. And just like I thought, I have it within me to move myself forward, and I just put that particular package of tablets in the cupboard, out of sight, and then automatically, within less than 24 hours, the thing I did the next day was become my dragon lift. I thought, I've got to get my body moving, and what that involves is grabbing a pair of dumbbells that are a minimum of 10% of your body weight, and then just curling it to the shoulder, lifting it above your head, down to your shoulder again, and down to your thigh, and then repeat on the other arm, and keep going like that. And at the time, I was like, I've got to achieve 100, because that 100 non-stop, because that was like the minimum requirement with this sort of training. And initially, I wasn't hitting that. And I dropped the weight I was lifting because my body was depleted. I was just having to literally go back to basics. And it's really strange, because that's got a parallel with what I'm doing for myself now, because I'm going through a period of growth, physical, spiritual, on every level. It's just like, in order to make this growth happen, I have to go back to the basics with so many things. So I'm really focusing on the dragon lifts again at the moment. I'm really focusing on the breath work. Before coming on this call, I thought, right, we'll go as basic as having a cold shower. That's a daily occurrence now. And it's just, we're going back to the original question. It's just like, I had that aha moment, as you might call it, of like, there are ways and means to move yourself forward without having to rely on medication. That our bodies can, and our minds can communicate that to us. And if you just listen to it, listen to your heart, take that time, and you'll find that way.
I think that's really interesting what you mentioned there about going through periods of growth. Essentially, you need to sometimes go back a few steps to understand and reconnect with your own body. And but the key thing, I think, for me as well is what I understand is that each time you go back, you're not going back to zero. You're going back with certain level of experience and strength. But you need to go back one step in order to go forward, 5-10 steps. But that period of growth, is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, definitely. Like, to put things in context for now, it's like there's something in business that I'm going to say is on the horizon. I can't reveal what it is, but there's something that's really great that's coming, and there's other things as well. And it's just like, okay, for me to achieve these things in business and physically and so on, I have to reground myself. I have to get perspective. I just put a post on Instagram all about that. It's like asking myself, like, okay, why am I here in this space right now, in everything that's going on in my body, my mindset, my family life, my business? Why am I at this point? But also, what do I ultimately want from where I am now? What do I want to grow to? And it's just like, in order for me to be able to make that happen, it's almost like a rebirth. It's like, I'll take, like, I had it on Monday where I made this choice. I thought, I'm taking a day off work. I was really tired. I'd had some challenging times with my daughter waking up and stuff. And it's just like, right, I'm tired. I'm taking that time. But I had a lot of time to think. And I took myself for the first time in a long time to the top of a hill, which is literally just out of my front door, to the top of this hill. And I was looking over the valley. It was a frosty morning. The sun was shining. I put my meditation on that I listened to. And I was just like, right, this is what I've got to get back to. Grounding, come here every single day. Get that fresh air. Take that walk. Walking is highly underrated. And then with that, just go through that processing all my thoughts and where I want to be. And it's just like, not necessarily thinking about how I'm going to get there, but just thinking, yes, this is real. This is happening, because if that thought is in my brain, that desire, that want, that I'm wanting to, that growth, it's happening now. It's manifesting. It's creating itself. But I've got to allow a certain version of me to, well, let go of that old version of me to step into this new version that I'm going on a path to kind of move towards. I can't fully see that version of me. I know it's there, but it's like, what's happening now? It's got to go. I've got to move to an unrecognizable version to welcome in all these great things that I know are coming. So yeah, back to basics.
Awesome. Awesome. What you mentioned there about the simplicity of walking. You mentioned walking is underrated, and I truly believe that as well in terms of physical movement. The fact that you don't need a fully equipped gym.
No.
Graham, if you're tuning in, if you guys are tuning in, you have to watch the YouTube version, because obviously, Graham, you're calling in from what looks like your own personal gym, but it actually looks like a garage. It is. It's your own garage.
This is where I operate my business from. It's my own garage, and I literally deliver my sessions. I've got my iPad, and then there's an app I use, and then with that, wherever people are in the world, I've got clients in the States. I've worked with people in South Africa. I've worked with people all over. But it's literally, I'm here. And what you see is like this bit where you literally see as far as to the punch bag and where this grey banner is. And behind that, it's just a garage. It's a space. This is all you need. Somewhere to reach above your head and out to the sides, and a pair of dumbbells or tins of beans if necessary, and off we go. That's a fully equipped gym. Not necessary. All about that simplicity. And I know it works because I've had clients on a weight loss journey. Someone who was told she couldn't lose weight. It was impossible for where she was at. She had XYZ problem. She had a hip issue and all kinds of other things. And the doctor said, it's not going to happen. She started training with me a couple of hours a week, did the 12-week acceleration and lost 3 stone in that time. And the doctor turned around to her and said, what you are achieving is going against all medical science. This is crazy, but keep doing what you're doing, because the fact that you're on your crutches and you're still moving, that shouldn't really be happening. So keep doing what you're doing. And there's a guy who I work with in the States. He was diabetic. He went through a quadruple heart bypass. This is inauthentic as well. And he now is really moving forward with his life. He lost just under, let me see, I think he lost 125 pounds in just a few months of working with me, and he's still going consistent to this day. And all he picks up to do the training sessions is a pair of dumbbells. I guide him accordingly. He's in his room at home, but yeah, you can train from anywhere. And this is it, the simplicity of everything. And that's very much what I'm about. Keeping it simple, not making things complicated, and ultimately getting the results. And bringing people together as a community is so important as well.
Again, thanks Thanks for sharing that, Graham. Really inspiring, because I'm thinking about myself. I have a gym membership, but I'm thinking about the fact that I've got a gym membership, but it's really tricky to try and get myself consistently doing that. But that same amount of money, if I were to get someone like you, if people tuning in, they can engage with you, Graham, and it's through Zoom, wherever you are. You can call in. The key thing for me is that consistency, and you need a coach, for example, like yourself, to keep someone accountable, right? And that's very simple. You can work out from home. You don't need to put gym, clothes or whatever. You don't need to go into the car or get into the tube.
People train in their pajamas.
Exactly.
But the great thing is, like the app that I use, it's something called Remote Coach. It's purpose built. So if people have got Fitbits or Apple Watches, they can sync that to it. They can see the calorie burn in real time. But what you said about people not leaving home, I found particularly at the moment, seems to be people out there who have chronic illnesses, such as fibromyalgia. I think it's bursitis, something which is another, but particularly fibromyalgia. Those people seem to be magnetizing towards me at the moment, because the people where because their energy is so low, they can't actually go as far as getting into a car, let alone go to a gym somewhere like that. So for them to be able to broadcast me onto the TV or from the tablet or the phone and put me on top of the fireplace, and for me to guide them through a session, it works wonders. Like there's someone I'm working with at the moment, and she said that it's really helped her fibromyalgia. She comes to every session with her 2 cans of food, and then off we go. As participant, she follows what I do. She takes it at her own pace, and that's the beauty. The participant can set the intensity themselves. You can have, if I'm doing a group session, for instance, you can have beginner, intermediate, advanced all together at the same time. And because of how the platform works, nobody sees each other. It's not like, say, on Zoom where everyone can see each other. Nobody sees each other. They can hear each other if they want to have a bit of a conversation. But again, if they want to mute out of that, and the only person who sees them is me, that's how it works. But there's a lot of people who are, as I said, experiencing chronic illnesses, who seem to be drawn towards me at the moment. And it's crazy because the client base ages from about 30 right up to I've got 2 women and they've just gone 78. So it's broad, and some of the women in the 70s are absolutely way ahead of people half their age, and they're only dedicating 1 to 2 hours per week, and that is it. Doesn't need to be any more. Some doing less, but it's moving them forward.
Wow, amazing. And again, you guys tuning in, this is the power, something that I keep going back to, the power of technology, and the fact that, since the pandemic's happened, it's pushed a lot of us online, which is potentially a good thing, because now, we can connect with each other wherever you are in the world. You can just connect with Graham, sign up and work out from home. You don't need to go to the gym.
Because another thing on top of that not everyone knows I do, but I'm a Reiki practitioner as well, and you can actually deliver distance Reiki. So I've again, for anyone who may know anything about that, but you can there's basically the healing energies, because everything's energy around us. Everything from, I don't know, from a bottle of water to money to whatever, everything's energy. And that energy, there's not any magical weird tricks or woo-woo kind of stuff, but it can be transferred to that individual who needs healing. That healing can be sent across the pond to wherever that they are, and we just connect upon a session. People feel the same benefits as if it was an in-person Reiki session as well. So it's a very holistic sort of approach to the fitness. If people do want the more go for it kind of thing, like I did with a client today, we can, but it's all very much about going within and realizing that with calm breathing, through simple movements, functional movements, you can really move yourself forward physically, mentally, spiritually. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's good. It's good.
Graham, I want to come to one of the topics that we discussed last time we were on IG Live, if I remember correctly, was you mentioned about the concept of, I think it was active meditation or something along those lines.
Physical meditation.
Physical meditation. Sorry. Yes.
So,
Do you mind just explaining a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. It's this whole idea of moving the body and synchronizing your breath work with it. So I can take, such as the dragon lift, which is the simplest move. It was created by a guy called Dragan Radovich back in 1984. Google him, you'll find out about him. But basically, as you curl into the shoulder and breathing out, as you're doing that lift, as I described earlier, those of you on YouTube will be able to see me doing it now. I know I'm seated. I would normally be standing doing this, but it's about finding a flow with your body and having an awareness as you're going through this lifting motion. And right down to the end of your fingertips, like figuring out where you stretch, how you breathe. Like usually I've got 35-pound dumbbells in my hand, and I just relax into it. Like you don't have to be using big 35-pound dumbbells. You can have something really like a 1 pound or a 2 pound. The main thing is that you're doing the movement. Even practicing this without dumbbells in your hands will be beneficial. But it's all about, as you're doing different movements. Even this kind of thing I'm doing now, I'm just turning my hands around. I'll be honest with you, this all kind of came from a guy called Troy Casey, but he's all about really fluid movements, allowing the body to move in different ways so you can shake out emotions and just really simple stuff. And it's just about how, as the physical body connects to the way you breathe, and then it can help calm the mind. So something as simple as when you're breathing in and out through the nose, you might be out walking. We'll take that as a simple example. And if you just put the tongue to the roof of your mouth, it triggers the pineal gland in the brain. Some people refer to it as the third eye. And just if you close your eyes and you breathe like that, I've just done a couple of short breaths there, but you find when you open the eyes that you're just in a calm state. Even if you can't put the tongue to the roof of the mouth, even if you just try for that nasal breathing. It's all about whatever movement you're doing, you're breathing with it as you feel you need to, but it's not a stressful thing. As soon as any element of stress kicks in, that's or too much pressure, you might be overexerting. That's the point to just step back and go, right, I've reached where I am. I'm grateful, and go from there. Does that explain it?
Absolutely. And that's really interesting because that reframes the way I think about exercise sometimes. People tuning in again, if you're thinking about exercise, that you have to go in hard and start to kind of really strain yourself, and this is kind of completely making you more aware of your body, and rather than kind of pushing hard, you're actually trying to kind of sit with your body and like you're saying, feel your body and understand. And you mentioned even about kind of feeling the energy up to the fingertips. That's something, when I'm doing weights, I'm not thinking about my fingertips. I'm like, trying to think about muscles, right? But this is this is intentional lifting in a sense.
Yeah. And it's like, even with the squat movement, I don't know if this I'll be able to show you something. I probably will. But even with the squat, you can you're down, you stand tall. Like, again, I'm just standing with my feet a comfortable distance apart, but I'm not rushing anything. It's just like I'm down, I know I need to be tall. I'm not like really quick. It's like just now, everything's considered, even how the hands come together, even how I roll my shoulders. And again, some people with the squat, they might not be able to get that low. So all you do is prop your feet up with some wedges or stand on some dumbbells, and that will allow you to get lower. So it's just having that mindfulness of the whole movement. So it's like I'm down, I'm up, and allow your breathing to happen naturally. We've all got different breathing patterns. Lots of people think it's like and all that kind of stuff, and there's a time and a place for that. But it's just like, even with this, it's just like, yeah, it should look easy. It should almost look easy to someone watching what's happening. But as I did today, 500 lifts with no break, with 35 pounds. Like I've been training for 22 years doing this training, so that's what people work up to. But and I plan to go beyond that, up to 1,000 before the end of the year. But it's a whole thing of, I can get my mind focused enough and zoned away from things that aren't serving me, that I can go inwards, and I can do that. And it's, as I was saying to my client who I was guiding through this, I said, keep yourself relaxed, stay focused, keep coming back to your breath, be aware of how your body's feeling. And he was lifting a lighter weight than me. He was lifting 22.5 pounds. Again, he's at a different stage, but he pushed out 700 continuous lifts this morning.
Oh, wow.
And he's nearly 50.
Wow.
Been training with me for 2.5 years. And yeah, that's the level that it's got to. And I do not take everyone to that point unless they've gone through the relevant steps. Like I said, he's been with me 2.5 years. He's not got a gym membership or anything, but he learned about keeping himself calm, just trusting my guidance, trusting his own body, and he achieved that as a personal best. And that's what people of any age have the potential to do.
Wow, that's really inspiring to know about these stories of, people from different backgrounds, from different age groups, achieving these levels, which it's really inspiring to know and learn about that. Yeah.
Like I'd be saying, if anyone out there is thinking that they want to know more about this whole process and the dragon lift and physical meditation, if they want to learn more about it, you can find me on Instagram. It's at The Resilient Lifestyle, or feel free to drop me an email, resilientlifestyleleader@gmail.com. And I got that right because I was interviewed on another podcast and I got confused on the email. Or you can just type my name in on Facebook. But if people are wanting to learn more, just let me know that you see me on the Academy podcast. In fact, just so I know that you want to know more where you've learned about me from, just put the word Academy in there, and then we can get onto a conversation.
Absolutely.
But there's this is a way of, my business is called The Resilient Lifestyle. So I learned to be resilient through beating my anxiety through these methods that I teach people now. Again, it's not gone completely. I'll have moments where it can creep back upon you, but I'll keep coming back to the breath work and the lifts. But it's called, so it's Resilient Lifestyle because it's a lifestyle choice to move your mind and body forward, and even your spirituality for some of you. It's got to be a lifestyle choice. It won't happen in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks. Like okay, I run an acceleration program, a 12-week acceleration program, but I explain to people with that, that's the beginning. That's what my client Rachel found. It's like that was the start, and then as it became a habit and she jumped into training with me consistently, she's been with me over a year now, that's where her lifestyle changed and the way she approached things. And that's partly why, besides the 12-week acceleration program, I offer a 12-month program. So for those that are serious and really want to make those changes, we can have a conversation about that as well. I won't go into details because that all comes on the conversation.
Amazing.
And it's not for everyone. That's the thing. It's not for everyone. But those people who choose to jump into it, they go through the conversation with me, and if they end up being a good fit, well, happy days. But yeah, stay resilient, people. That's definitely what I say. Stay resilient.
Great stuff.
Give it a go.
Great stuff. And we'll put all the contact details, social media handles in the description of the podcast so you can connect with Graham. Graham, unfortunately, we're coming to the tail end of today's session. It's a quick one today, unfortunately. But again, if you can connect with Graham, he's doing some amazing stuff in getting people fit and centered in their life. And I think, I want to thank you, Graham, for doing what you do, helping everyone out there.
The final thing just to put in there is that everything I take my clients through, as far as the training is concerned and the breath work, I've done it myself. I've done every single element. I do not have my clients go through something if I've not gone through that process myself, because I've got to have that deeper understanding of it so that I can deliver to anyone who's working with me the highest quality, the highest, but basically so you get the full experience.
Amazing. Graham, just before we end the session, usually I do a quick 5-question round at the end. I hope you're okay to do this.
I'm good for time. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it quite quickly. Okay. So Graham, question number 1, what is your favorite word?
Awesome.
Amazing. Awesome. I like that. I like the word. Amazing. Okay. So question number 2, what are you currently reading or listening to?
I'm listening to I've got a few on the go actually. Main book I'm reading is Inferno by Dan Brown, and I'm listening to podcasts by Garrett J. White from Wake Up Warrior. Nice.
Okay, question number 3.
Yes.
Question number 3.
I love it.
If you could meet someone either living or past, who would that be?
Oh gosh. You know what? I'm actually very much getting in touch with my faith at the moment. So for me, it would either be, I'm going to have to put 2 here. It would either be Jesus or it would be Buddha.
Wow.
One of them. I'm really diving into my faith, but in the sense of having the faith to move forward with something and the willingness to change habits and actions and activate faith. And that's why it says on my Instagram, Spiritual Warrior. So yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Let's go.
Love that. Question number 4, what advice would you give to the younger Graham?
Okay, it will be very simply, when you're faced with adversity, any challenges, just keep going, keep moving forward. Even when you feel that there's no way out, go within, because everything everything you require and you desire is within you. There's 2 approaches to, the 2 things in life, as Sadhguru said, there's within and without, okay, and in and out. And that's just my general approach to life now. It's like, if it's within you, it's also out there as well. Just got to attract it. Trust your heart. Yeah, trust your heart.
Love that. Great advice. I love that. Last question, Graham. Question number 5. What can we expect from Graham in the next 5 years?
Oh, right. I would say it's expansion with Yeah, definitely expansion in business. There's going to be growth. There's going to be great things happening there, and you'll see me on a number of virtual platforms. In myself, you will see me achieve 1,000 lifts on 35 pounds non-stop. So that's the physical side, and all I can say is I'll be an unrecognizable version of what I am right now. This version may be inspiring to you, but 5 years from now, you'll be like, who was that guy on that YouTube interview? This guy's like way ahead. He's up at the top of the mountain. He's taking off like a rocket. So that's it. That's like the resilient life. You know what? That's it. Like the resilient lifestyle symbol that a lot of people say is like a rocket. I'll just show it really quickly. It's like accelerating upwards. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be some insane acceleration that even I can't compute in my brain right now.
Love that. I love that. Looking forward to that, Graham.
Yeah,
awesome.
It'll be real. It'll be real. I love those questions. I love the quick fire. I love it. I love it.
Okay, Graham, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have today. And
Excellent.
For you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Academy Podcast with Graham Wheatcroft. I love this conversation. I think we have to do another one, Graham. I don't
definitely
think we've done this justice.
So much we can jump into, so much. Like I've got a story about my epilepsy as well and all kinds of stuff. So there's so much we can touch on, my friend. So much.
We'll do this one more time. Thank you so much.
That's great.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until the next episode, it's peace and love from me always. And for Graham,
ciao for now.
Okay. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are. My sincere hope is that this episode has not only resonated with you, but also given you some invaluable tips and strategies to improve your life. Don't forget to share your comments with me. As you know, I love to hear your views. Also, remember to follow the Academy, follow me, my guests, and tag us on our social media handles, which will be provided in the description. Most importantly, please leave a review and let me know that you've heard this podcast and how it has impacted you. Until the next episode, stay safe, stay healthy, and peace and love from me always.